welcome. You're watching yet another edition of WION's special broadcast for the Karnataka elections, Karnataka Votes, and I'm Nishchita Virendra. The elections in the state have created excitement across the country. With the battle lines drawn in what is expected to be a neck-to-neck contest, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is pulling new tricks out of his bag. Last year, Siddaramaiah set up a committee to look into the possibility of having a separate flag for the state of Karnataka. Now that was the beginning of a slew of statements that hinted at the Chief Minister whipping up regionalistic sentiments among the people. So today we look into how regional pride is being used in this poll season in the South Indian state of Karnataka. Well, in March this year, the Chief Minister unveiled the approved design for the Karnataka flag. Just to ensure to not clash with the patented red and yellow flag used extensively across the state for many years now, the government chose a tricolour flag of yellow, white and red with the Ganda Berunda or the state emblem right at the centre of it. But this is not the first flag that has been used in Karnataka, although it will certainly be the first that has been officially approved by the state government. Now, one of the flags that is extensively used in the state is the simple yellow and red flag. This is also a flag that the people of the state emotionally associate themselves with, as it was designed during the pro-Kannada movement in the 1960s. However, legal hurdles prevented the state government from continuing with this design. Now, before the 1960s, that is, there was the bi-colour Kingdom of Mysuru flag that was used despite the reorganization of states on linguistic basis. So coming down to what does the flag really mean for the people of Karnataka? Well, we asked this question to Kannada literature P.V. Narayana, and this is what he had to say.
Kannada pride is symbolized with Kannada flag. Kannada pride is symbolized with our land anthem, regional anthem. To my mind, the concept of India, Indianness, is thrust upon us from above. As I told you, since the beginning of the Kannada rule, the history goes to say that one Mayuri Sharma, he established the dynasty, first Kannada ruling dynasty in Karnataka, that is Kadamba dynasty, because he was humiliated outside Karnataka. So that was the beginning of feeling proud about one's land, one's language, one's people. And at least I wish that Kannada should be a main issue, not only in this election, in all elections to come.
But this is not just about regional pride anymore. Now, these issues have been raked up right ahead of the hotly contested elections in the state. Let's take a look at the timeline of events since last year. Now, in Feb 2017, the Kannada Development Authority recommended that all C and D category jobs in the private sector, including the IT/BT sector, be reserved for the Kannada-speaking population of the state. Now, the recommendation was even taken up for discussion in the cabinet in February this year, but no decision was made. Following that, in July 2017, Siddaramaiah ordered for all schools in the state, including CBSE and ICSE, to teach the local language. Now, though parents have expressed discomfort as the move coincided with the President's order for Hindi to be made mandatory, many schools went ahead with the implementation anyway. Now, in August 2017, the Chief Minister wrote to the centre against the imposition of Hindi in metro signages after a series of demonstrations in Bengaluru by pro-Kannada organizations. In his letter, the Chief Minister said that Hindi cannot and should not be made the national language of the state. Well, the Chief Minister also raised the issue in his Independence Day speech and said the imposition of any other language apart from the state language is unconstitutional. Next, in March 2018, the state government released the approved flag for Karnataka proposal, for which is before the centre even as we speak. Now, this was just a few months ahead of elections. In April 2018, then, the Chief Minister criticized the devolution of funds based on population, alleging that South Indian states that had worked hard for population control were being punished and North Indian states that had failed were being incentivized. So let's listen to what the Chief Minister had to say when we posed these very questions to him.
Do you feel that there is some sort of a people from North fail to sometimes understand that Karnataka has a different, distinct individual cultural identity? Because sometimes people accuse you this is like too much of a regional pride.
On what basis reorganization of the states taken place?
Language.
Language. Which is the supremacy? The language should be supremacy in each state. Of course, we are in federal structure, but to respect the federalism. But as far as the regional language is concerned, it should have supremacy. That is my point. And likewise, the religion, the Lingayat religion. It is not that we have created a religion. The religion, the Lingayat religion, was established 850 years ago by Baswana. They want a separate minority religion tag. All sections of the Lingayat community, subsects and others, Veerasaiva community, Lingayat community, they all represented to the government with 5 petitions seeking Lingayat Veerasaiva religion as a separate independent minority religion.
Yes.
So I have referred all the petitions to State Minority Commission. The Minority Commission, in turn, they have constituted a expert committee under the chairmanship of Nagmohan Das, who is a retired High Court judge. After deliberations, they gave a report and made some recommendations. On the basis, we have accepted the recommendations of the expert committee, and we have recommended to the Government of India to give a separate minority religion to Lingayat.
While such regionalistic emotional issues are fairly new to Karnataka politics, will it pay electoral dividends to the Congress? Well, we spoke to some people who have been closely observing the political game in the state, especially ahead of elections. So let's listen in.
It's actually a nice way to counter the BJP's nationalism and rake up regional issues. It all started with the separate flag for the state in Karnataka. And Siddaramaiah saw there is a good response from the public, members of the public and from intelligentsia. So he is banking on that, and he started using that and playing quite often. Recently, he tweeted saying, why don't you preach in Kannada? In Tamil Nadu, we have seen a very strong anti-Hindi movement from the Nehru time, and there is a Dravidian movement that is still there, in whichever form they are. In Telugu, Andhra Pradesh, 1983, NTR came to power on this strong regional aspirations and what you call pride. So it was Rajiv Gandhi who insulted Congress Chief Minister in airport in Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad. That led to a formation of Telugu Desam. So here, the interesting thing is the Congress is playing a regional card. This is something very, very unlikely. They do play regional issues, Kaveri, and when it comes to water sharing with other states and all, but not to this extent. This also shows that Siddaramaiah has grown in stature and has become very strong politically, and also shows that the Congress at the center is not all that strong and it's weaker, and it's allowing its local leaders to play to the public in the state rather than staying national in its approach, nationalistic in its approach.
I will expect a Tamilian to be proud or affectionate towards Tamil, a Bengali to be proud and affectionate towards Bangla, a Punjabi to be proud and affectionate towards Punjabi. So that is the kind of pride that I am talking about. The second, but what I said at first, a legitimate, rational demand for services in your language is something you must understand. See, about maybe 10% of the people of this state understand English, or they can negotiate or speak in English. They struggle to speak English because they feel you can get jobs, you can give better quality information in English. Now some of the best textbooks will be available only in English. Some of the information of the world is available only in English. What they will not understand is, if you ask them to learn some language that they have no clue about, they don't know anything about. I know at some point of time in this country it was declared that that should be the official language of the Union. I'm saying, today you have technology, why do you want one official language of the Union? You have English already. You allow the states to have their own languages. Yes, after all, you've made linguistic states. So let them have it. Why do you harass people and give, if you go to a bank, if you give them a form and say fill it in English or in Hindi, and if a person is born in some village in Karnataka or some village in Tamil Nadu, what are they supposed to do? Why are you creating them as helpless citizens in their own country? That's all I'm asking.
Also, what this issue, tactfully played up by the state's Congress administration, has done is put the BJP on the back foot. Having to toe the line of the larger one nation, one language ideology of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the state leaders have been left behind between the devil and the deep sea when it comes to the flag and language issues. Now let's take a look at this report to find out more.
The Indian state of Karnataka is due for an election in May. The present Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah, has pulled out some brand new weapons for this election season. He has made a recommendation for minority status to Lingayat community and approved a separate flag for Karnataka. While Amit Shah is known as the Chanakya of Indian politics, Siddaramaiah has managed to challenge the BJP by whipping up regionalistic sentiments in Karnataka. The ruling government of Karnataka has pushed for 100% reservation to Kannadigas in the private sector jobs and made Kannada compulsory in all schools. Siddaramaiah has also spoken out against centre's moves to introduce the use of Hindi in the state and even questioned the allocation of funds from the central government.
Karnataka has had a conglomeration of languages. To that extent, the response to appeal of any kind linguistically made, whether as a policy or something, is not unless we whip it up.
While sociologists like G.K. Karanth feel that Karnataka's linguistic and cultural diversity might blunt the impact of such a campaign, political analyst Sandeep Shastri feels that one must not ignore the alternative narrative that the Congress is stitching against the BJP.
This time in Karnataka, we are seeing a competition between two alternative narratives. The BJP narrative, which speaks about one country, a particular brand of nationalism and patriotism, led by a particular leadership. Now, the Congress, very interestingly, has decided to choose an alternative narrative to challenge the BJP narrative. And what is this alternative narrative they have chosen, which is focusing on the local? The local leader leading local issues. If you look at the Congress, all their material, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi are very small photographs, with Siddaramaiah being the larger photograph. So it's a strategy of the Congress to focus on the local.
The campaign from the Congress also successfully establishes Siddaramaiah as a regional leader, despite the party being national. But things could play out differently in Bengaluru, Karnataka's capital city and India's IT hub. More than 50% of non-Kannadiga population lives here.
I don't know why they ramp it up during the election time. There is a better time to do it.
Being a localite, I should not feel like I'm illiterate. So whenever there are people coming around from other places and occupying here, when I want to say, let's say I want to ask for a direction to some other place, I should not feel like I am not getting what I wanted for.
The city as such, the latest census shows that 4 out of 10 people in the city have Kannada as their mother tongue. Whether they speak Kannada at home is a different issue, but Kannada is their mother tongue. So the city clearly has a cosmopolitan presence where you have a lot of people from outside Bangalore. Now, that also creates this strong movement in Bangalore to protect the interests of the language.
The BJP, who is trying to pull Siddaramaiah down, accuses the Congress of playing divisive politics. They say that the state government's actions, like approving a separate flag for the state, sets a bad precedent for the country. The jury is still out whether Siddaramaiah is able to pull voters to his side through his political moves. But with Karnataka staring at a neck-to-neck competition, anything could change the course of the game.
Well, probably for the first time, an emotional issue like Kannada pride and identity has had tongues wagging in the state of Karnataka and also in the city of Bengaluru ahead of the elections. And this is opposed to the BJP's larger one-nation theory. In a cosmopolitan city like Bengaluru, which has displayed no particular loyalty to any party or community so far, will this come as the new calling? In Bengaluru with video journalist Chandan, Nischita, WION.
Well, that's right. The jury is still out on whether the voters will really be influenced enough by the Kannada Pride campaign. But it has certainly made these elections more exciting. That's all we have for you in this edition of Karnataka Votes. We will be back tomorrow, but for now, it is a wrap, and news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.